And if you have an account with Edpuzzle, then this is what will pop up. And again, Edpuzzle is great because it's more intuitive and has less steps in getting it to Google Classroom. The downside of Edpuzzle is that it is 13 and over, so and it won't be funded for premium next year by our district. So you'd either have to look at what the cost is, and also Edpuzzle has a parent form that the parents sign for those students that are under 13 to be able to use it. But it's, for right now in this situation, it is a good tool. And the main thing about Edpuzzle is that it's easy to search content in the area. And here's the content. There's home. You can search content up here very easily. And it has curriculum. You can search it by elementary, middle, or high school. And then when you click on view content, it has you go through to see if you want science, language arts, history, or math, or whatever it is you're looking for. This one, Mistletoe Elementary School, you can look and see what content has been created at your school. And then this is your curated content. There are folders that you can organize your content in. So you can make a folder for language arts, history, science, math, or whatever else you have. And then there's popular channels that they have as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you the simple way to get content. And I'm going to do, let me see if I can do Earth Day song. And here's an Earth Day song for kids. I have no idea how good it is or not, but that's the first thing is in any of these, either Edpuzzle or PlayPosit, you want to preview the videos and check them to make sure that they're something that you want. So I'm going to check this here. And maybe I already did this one. So let me check on the next one here. I'll select it. So this belongs to somebody else. It's just like a Google Doc that you have viewing access to, but you don't have ownership of yet. So I'm going to go over to the right here. After I click on it, I'm going to go to copy, and I'm going to make a copy of it. After I make a copy, I'm going to click on assign. Sorry for the lag here. And then I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to copy it. I apologize, it's not. There we go. And I'm going to assign it to a class. If you have not set up a Google Classroom class yet, you go to Add New Class, Import Class, go to your Google Classroom, and select a class that you want to send it out to. Okay, I've already have my classes set up, so I'm going to send it to my test class. Over on the right here, it's going to say prevent skipping. That's if you do not want your students to skip any part of the video. You want to watch it all the way through without skipping. You click on that. If you want closed captions, you're able to click on that and have closed captions set up for your video. And then you can post it on Google Classroom. So that's what I want. So I'm going to post it on Google Classroom, and I'm going to put assign. And on the right here, it says it's posted on my Google Classroom. Here, let me go to my Google Classroom. And here we go. Okay, and here I have, it's posted, on Edpuzzle, it posts it for you. So you go to instructions, and you can see that this video is on there. And the nice thing is, post as an assignment, and it says that to do right here is at 2 minutes 32 seconds, there's a multiple choice question. So they're going to have to answer that question at 2 minutes 32 seconds. Looks like it's towards the end of the video here. And then they turn it in. And Edpuzzle also has it graded. So that's what it looks like on the Google Classroom, posted for you. The students have to watch all the way through, and then they turn it in. And then if I go back to Edpuzzle, it shows me my students that I have in here, how much they watched for this video, what is the thing that they've last watched, and if they've turned it in or not. It also asks the question and it'll see how many of my students got that question correct. Okay, so that's for the content, posting on Google Classroom and checking the results. There's also on the right-hand side, there's a grade book for Edpuzzle. And this shows me that Jenny here has total time spent of 1 minute watching the videos, and the others haven't watched them. And then if I click on a specific video, it'll show me that under Jenny here, she watched 30% of the video. And then if there's any questions with the videos, inserted with the videos, then it'll show me what Jenny has answered also. And then lets you go to each student looking at that. Okay, are there any questions so far? Okay, also with Edpuzzle, there are, like I said, there's a lot of ready-made curriculum that you need to make sure you preview the videos before you do it. If you have a video that you want to edit, and I'll put just Earth Day in general. And I'll choose one here. Yeah, I'll make a copy of it. And then I'm going to make a copy of it, but I want to edit it as well. So here, if you wanted to cut any parts of the video out in the edit section, you can go ahead and edit your video. If you want to do a voiceover, if you have a video that you want to do a voiceover and explain something while the video is going, you can add a voiceover. And you can also insert questions anytime during the video. It could be a multiple choice question, which is automatically graded, because with multiple choice, you can say, here's my question. So I'm creating a question, and this is A. I'm going to mark this answer as wrong or correct. And then here's choice B. I'll mark this one as incorrect. And then I'll save it. And when it's graded, it goes off of what I did as correct or incorrect. There's also open-ended questions that you can insert. And there's also notes. If you want to stop the video while it's going, type in a note, hey, notice this about this. That's where the notes come in. When you're all done, you would click finish, and then your video is ready to assign.
Mark, a quick question about
Yes.
the voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
If you use that voiceover feature, does it delete the existing voice or recording of the video itself when you plug that in?
Yes.
Okay. And then just one more clarification question. And I think it has to do with when you're making a copy of a video and it already has questions attached to it. Do you have to go in ahead of time before you assign that video with already attached questions? Do you have to go in ahead of time before you assign it to Google Classroom to input the correct answers, or do those kind of roll over with the copied video?
The correct answers roll over with the video, but again, I would go through and check the questions and make sure that they're appropriate, that they're correct, because these are teachers and people from all over the world that are creating these videos. And just go through the video, preview it, go through the questions yourself as a student to make sure, or preview the video to make sure all the questions are correct and all the answers are correct. Okay, are there any other questions?
No, we're good. Thank you, Mark.
Okay.
Did we lose you, Mark? I think we lost you for a second. All right. I think we did. So Mark will go back on in a second as soon as his Wi-Fi gets better. But one of the things that I wanted to show you also, Mark, are you coming in? I don't want to jump on your toes. All right. One of the other things that I want to show you is another way for you to be able to push out videos to your students is through Screencastify. Last week when we were doing one of our online trainings, somebody actually mentioned, I don't even remember who, and it was an awesome idea about using Screencastify as a way to push out YouTube videos to their students. So I kind of wanted to show that way to you as another way that you can push out these YouTube videos to your students. And again, just for clarity, I keep saying YouTube, but it doesn't necessarily have to be YouTube. It could be any type of video. So if you have other platforms or other ways of getting videos, you can do this as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. So if you actually were or joined into the Screencastify training from last week, maybe a week before at this point, it's probably 2 weeks now at this point. If you went to the Screencastify or watched that video, perfect. If you didn't see anything with Screencastify, kind of ignore me right now because I don't want information overload. So for Screencastify, remember it's an extension that allows you to record either yourself or your screen while you're on a device. So the way I would actually set this up is I would actually start out by going to YouTube, and I would find the video that I want to show my students. So if this is if this is the video on how cold can Earth get, and this is the video I want to actually show to my students, then perfect. If not, find the video you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the video, And then I'm going to go over here to my Screencastify extension, this little orangey pinkish extensions arrow symbol. And I'm going to click on that. Because I am recording just one tab, I'm not hopping from tab to tab. I'm just going to click on browser tab right here. I am going to need to embed my microphone so that they can listen to it as well, because if I had it turned off, then all they would be able to do is see it. Maybe that's what you want. I don't know. But you definitely want to include the microphone with there as well. But as the video is playing, you're going to need to make sure that you're quiet while it's recording it. So I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to record, and it's going to count down. I'm going to play.
Supporting this episode of SciShow, go to brilliant.org.
And I make it full screen so that it can keep going, and it can record all of this for my students in the recording. And let me go in and hang on, minimize and take my video and stop recording it. All right, so let me go back in real quick and share my screen and show you from here. So once I played the entire video, it's going through, it's talking, it's showing my video right here. You can see my screen. Here's my video, and what's really cool is because I'm videotaping an actual YouTube video. Notice up at the top, it automatically changes your title for you, so you don't have to title it. You can go in and change the title, but I love the fact that it already titles it for you. So from here, you have your video. Again, if you need to clip, take off pieces, you can do that within Screencastify or WeVideo. But really the main piece right here is this button right here, Share to Classroom. All I'm going to do is literally click on that. My window right here is going to pop up. I'm going to choose the class I want to assign this to. I'm going to make it as an assignment. And then I'm going to hit go. Automatically has the title, automatically embeds the video, automatically does my entire class. But if I just want to pick and choose certain students who get this assignment, I can do that as well. All I'm going to do is click assign, and it is assigning that now to my students. And if I go in, here's the one from this morning, so let me get rid of that one. If I go in as my student, let me refresh this real quick. I go in as my student, and here is my video, How Cold Can the Earth Get? I just can click on this and actually start watching the video. So there's another very, very basic, very easy way to use and basically to push out videos to your students using Screencastify. So again, there's another really basic way for you to do that.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
If I want to see from the student end how that looks when they log into Google Classroom, I just need to pirate one of my kids' accounts and log in.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, thank you for mentioning that. Honestly, I would suggest every single one of you to have one of your student accounts. You are all able to log in even on your teacher device as any of your students at any time. So if you're getting parents saying, hey, I can't do this with my kid's account, or getting students who say, hey, I can't open this, I can't try this, I don't know how to do that, feel free, log in as your kid anytime. So yes, absolutely, Amy, if you want to test it to see what it looks like and how it works, absolutely, log in as one of your students. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them. They may get an email notification, but at your age group, they're not really checking emails, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, absolutely, that is a great way to check to see if it worked. Any other questions about Screencastify before Mark maybe finishes up with, if he's done, Edpuzzle?
There was a question if you could show us again where the button is on the Screencastify recording to share it to Google Classroom.
Absolutely. So once you make your video, let me go back in as the teacher. This is the teacher. I just made my Screencastify again. All I did is clicked on the extension, start it up. As soon as I stop the extension or stop the video recording, this window pops up, and all I have to do is go over here where it says share to classroom. Click on that, and I'm gonna maximize this. You need to pick the class you want. Now on this window right here, you can only pick one class. So if you're a middle school teacher and you want to push this one video out to multiple classes, you can do that, but not from this screen. You're going to have to do that from a different screen. So from here, you're just going to pick one of your Google Classrooms. For now, I'll just pick, sure, class 1819. I'm going to choose it, create an assignment, click go, and then go through all of my normal Google Classroom settings here. But over here is where you can go and assign it to more than one class. Even though you picked only one class on the other window, other screen, you really can pick more than one class and assign it to them here. And then literally just click assign. And maybe it did that, there it goes. And now it's assigning. So, and that's all you have to do with Screencastify and PlayPosit, or yeah, Screencastify and YouTube. Awesome. All right, Mark, did you have any other pieces with Edpuzzle?
No, I was pretty much all done with it. If they do have any questions, though, please just reach out to me and email me on any of these, actually.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go into PlayPosit. Again, PlayPosit is something that we pay for as a district. We do have complete access of it. Let me go in. Now, PlayPosit we've had for several years. It was formerly known as EduCanon, and the best way to access PlayPosit is through Clever. So both for you and your students. So real quickly, for you, the best way for you to get into PlayPosit is going through Clever. For your students, it's probably best for them to access their videos through Google Classroom. However, you can do it either way. They can go into PlayPosit or you can go into Google Classroom. But for teachers, to get you started, you're going to want to go to Clever, and it's the very, should be on the first row in your Clever, formerly known as EduCanon, but it's PlayPosit with the dog. So you're going to click on that. Oops, it's been a while, so I needed to re-log into Clever, sorry. And so when you first log into PlayPosit, you're going to be taken to something called My Bulbs. Bulbs, B-U-L-B-S. So PlayPosit calls all of their videos bulbs. Why? I don't know, but they do. That's just the way they do it. So each video that you create, they're called bulbs. So you're going to go to My Bulbs. But before you start creating any bulbs at all, you're going to want to sync up all of your Google Classrooms to PlayPosit. And to do that, when you're over on the left-hand side, you're going to go over to your account, to your name, and you're going to click on your name. And you're going to go over to where it says Sync Settings. Now, if this is the first time that you're going into PlayPosit for this school year, obviously you're going to have to sync your Google Classroom, and you're going to have to sync it once every year at the beginning of the year or whenever you use it. And I believe there's a blue bar right here that says Sync Google Classroom is what it says. I don't quite remember what it says because I've obviously already synced my classes. Whatever the message is, you're going to click on the blue box in this area. For me, it says Show Google Classroom Data. When I click on that, it's going to pop up and it's going to show me my Google classes. These are all my Google classes, but that doesn't mean these are all my Google classes that are synced into PlayPosit. That just means that here's all of them. Now I get to pick and choose which ones I actually want to be put into PlayPosit. So you're going to go through, find your class. Once you find your class, you're going to hit the sync button. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and click on this one. I'm going to sync those kids. I can go through and pick and choose and say only sync this kid, and this kid. Or if you want to obviously sync the whole class, you're going to click in this box right here and the whole class gets chosen. You're going to then sync your learners. And then basically what it does is it takes all of those learners and it populates them into the Google Classroom within PlayPosit for you. So you're going to need to make sure that you go through and do this for every single, excuse me, every single one of your classes that you want to use PlayPosit with. There is no save button, so you're good. If you want to go through and change some of the other settings you have, they have totally updated their privacy and other type settings in here. Go through, see what's in here for you. If you need to change anything or want to change anything, feel free to go through your settings. I'm not going to do that piece right now. For now, I'm literally going to show you the really basic parts of PlayPosit. A, for information overload, and B, just so that we start out baby steps by getting you into pushing out videos to your students. That's the most important thing. So with your bulbs, yes, you're on My Bulbs, but what I want to show you real quickly is PlayPosit has pre-made bulbs. So if you go and click on the tab that says pre-made bulbs, you can go through and see all the pre-made bulbs that first, all the teachers from our school district have already created. So this tab is just private for our teachers of our school district. Nobody else can see them, this list but us. So you can actually go through all of our videos. Again, why reinvent the wheel? If you're doing a session or you want to push out a video on sharks, here's one that Amy, thank you Amy, has already pushed out to her students. And it tells us Amy right here made this copy of this video and pushed it out. So right here it tells you who the creator is, or who the one is, when it says creator, who's the one who made the copy of it. So keep that in mind. Right next to it is a new feature that PlayPosit has. It's your rigor on a 5-star scale. How hard was it? How did your students like it? How many views? How many people watched the video? And then the last section is actions. These are all the different actions. You actually only have 3 actions you can take because these are not your videos. When they are your videos or bulbs, you have a ton of actions you can take. But when they're not yours, you only have 3. The first one is a preview. Now, I would highly, highly, highly suggest that if you're going to pull a bulb from anybody outside of our school district, that's all in this section where it says all PlayPosit. What this means is these are all the videos that anybody has made that they want to make them public for anybody to use. If you're going to use these, which please feel free to use them, I would still preview them because you might want to edit them. They're not always that perfect when it comes to their questions or the grammar or the sentence structure. So you might want to be aware of that and at least go through and preview. So when you click on the 3 dots, you have 3 options. You can preview it, you export a worksheet if there is a worksheet associated with it, or if you find a bulb you like, you're going to want to make a copy of it. So if I'm in the elementary school enterprise section and I go through and I find this one on polygons, I can go through and make a copy of this. I can keep the name, copy of. I can go into advanced settings. Do I want to copy the entire bulb? Yes or no, that's up to you. And then from there, I can go to make a copy and edit, which I highly suggest, or copy only. For now, I'm just going to copy only because I'm going to show you how to edit bulbs in a little bit. So for real quickly, pre-made bulbs, go check them out. We have, honestly, some power users in here who have been making bulbs for a while, so definitely check out what we already have, so that why reinvent the wheel. But if you do want to make your own, here's how you would do that. What you're going to want to do is you're going to go to My Bulbs. Now, for my advanced learners who have been using PlayPosit for a while, there is a new feature that allows students to create bulbs so they can create their own. However, you need to remember that you can't just give them a YouTube video link because that won't open in their PlayPosit. So just keep that in mind. If you do have students who are making their own bulbs, you can add learner-made bulbs right here. So you can now upload those student-made bulbs and add them to your bulbs and push them out to your entire class. So that is possible. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and just do a basic generic new bulb. So I'm going to click on new bulb and have my system populate what I want. Real quickly, if you ever get a chance, go through all of this, all these did you knows. These are all little new things that they've added to the program. Take some time to read all the cool things that you can do now. For now, I'm just going to skip it and go into Enter the Designer. So from here, again, you can have lots of different ways to upload, input, put in your video. You can go from your drive, you can use URLs, you can upload, whatever it is, you can upload. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and actually take this video that I started early. Actually, no, let's do this one. 6 Weird Places on Earth. Let's do that one. 6 Weird Places on Earth. So this is the video that I want to push out to my students. Down here where it says add to and more, sometimes I haven't quite figured this out. I don't have time to research this, but sometimes there's a share button down here. When you click on that share button, it will give you the video URL. If you don't see the share button down here, you can just go up here to the URL and copy this URL. So I'm just going to copy my URL, Control C for copy. This is the video I want to push out to my students. I'm going to head back to PlayPosit. And because this is a YouTube video, I could just click on input URL. It would do the exact same. But because this is a YouTube video, I'm just going to click on YouTube. I'm going to paste my YouTube link right here where it says search YouTube. And it automatically throws in the video right away. So you have that in here. Now, when you put in your video, you have some things up at the top that you can do. You can place closed captioning. So if I go over here to Captions, I can, if the video has closed captioning, I can click on Fetch Closed Caption. I may have to restart it. Last time I did it, yeah, I may have to refresh. Last time I did it, it took it just fine. Oh, and it didn't take it this time around. But there is an option that for closed caption. So basically what it does, and I did this last time, when you click on closed caption, normally what happens is there's a button that pops up, closed caption, and it's going to ask you what language for closed caption you want it. I just always default to English. So I just pick on English, and then basically what that means is that when the video starts playing, you do have closed captioning in English. For me, that's what I chose. That would show up at the bottom. So you do have that. I don't know why it didn't happen now. It happened. I was able to use it earlier, and for some reason, I don't know if there was a little glitch. So you do have closed captioning. And the last tab that we saw on the other screen, not here, there is a video segment that you can edit. So again, you can go through and say, this is a 5-minute video, but I only want to push out 1.5 minutes to my students. So you can go through and crop your video to get the exact spot, the exact moment, or whatever it is you want for your students, and push just that piece out too. Any questions so far? All right, from here, so this is my video.
Hey, Kristen.
Yep, absolutely.
Can we get Brandy Stone to unmute and she can clarify? She had a question and I was trying to clarify it in the chat, but maybe she could just do that just right now. Are you there, Brandy?
Yeah. So I was just wondering if you.
You cut out on us. Hello? We can't hear you, Brandy. Sorry.
It had her original question was, oh, are you there?
Screencastify video as a bulb. Oh, sorry.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I actually tried it a week and a half ago. So just for fun, I actually did a Zoom, one of these Zoom trainings. It was for the Cami one. I did a Zoom training. I recorded the Zoom training like I'm recording this right now. And honestly, what I did is I actually took the URL. You can take any URL. It could be YouTube. It could be Screencastify. It could be a Zoom URL. I literally took that Zoom URL, placed it into PlayPosit here, and I wanted to cut off a little piece in the back at the end of the video. So I was able to cut off that piece and then save the rest as a PlayPosit video. So to answer your question, hopefully, yes, it could be, you can put in a Screencastify URL, you could put in a Zoom URL, anything that is a video that has a URL, you can put it in.
Brandy says thank you.
You're welcome, friend. All right, so here's my video. So now that I have my video in here, I can go in and add questions. Just for your guys' knowledge, PlayPosit calls, when you embed a question into their video, they call them interactions. And interactions, if I click on add interactions, there are a ton of different types of interactions you can have. You can have multiple choice questions, check questions, polls. You can have a pause. So if there's a part in the video that you just want your students to pause and reflect,
Thank you.
Pause and think, you can embed that as well. So there's lots of different interactions that you can input into PlayPosit. However, for this training session, I'm not going to put in anything. I literally just want to make it at a very basic level to push out a video, because that's what I want. I want to push out a video because I want my students to watch the video, and then maybe I want them to do a journal write-up afterwards, or a reflection paper afterwards, writing, or maybe a form afterwards to check for understanding. Whatever you want to do. For now, I'm just going to make this a very no questions embedded template. So here's my video segment. If I wanted to add interactions, add questions, what I would do is I'd let the video play. When I get to a spot that I want to add a question, I would put pause and then add my interaction, because if you noticed, it said 4 seconds. At 4 seconds, then this question is going to pop up, and I'll make it a quick, I'll just throw it in. Boom. Done. There's a quick question. And then I can keep playing the video and so on. So at 4 seconds, this question, how are you, is going to pop up. I'm going to stop that for now. I'm going to go back to the very end and go to review. Let's say you're done. You've put in your bulb, you put in your video. If you want to add questions and interactions, you may, but now you're done. So on the review page, you can go through and watch the review. You can change the title if you want to. You can put your learning objective here. And then you have 3 different other areas right here. Tags is if you want to tag this video in some type of way so that if people are looking for the video, they can find it. So this is going to be a science. This is going to be great for 3rd through 5th grade. And again, subject is going to be science. So you can go through and put in whatever tags you want. Or honestly, you don't have to put in any tags.
Kristen, we had a question about the questions.
Yeah.
It was, how long does the question stay up for
students?
Yeah, I think that's what they meant. Sorry.
As soon as the students answer. So basically what happens is it kind of honestly looks just like this. The video is going to be playing whole screen. When it gets to that 4 second mark, when that question, how are you, pops up, the screen is going to end up looking like this. The video will come over here like this, and the question will pop up on the left hand side. there's going to be a text box, because that's the type of question I chose. There will be a text box that pops up. Kids can answer. They hit submit, and as soon as they hit submit, the video will keep playing until it gets to that next question stopping point. So, does that answer? Hopefully. Hopefully, maybe. All right, I'm going to move on because we're getting closer on time, and I want to be respectful of your guys' time.
There was a follow-up on that.
Yep.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
What if you were showing it as a whole class?
Okay, wait. We'll get to that point. I haven't gotten there yet. I can't wait to show that. That's called broadcast, and I'll show that to you. Hang on a sec. So after the tags, you have playback options. So you can go through and choose the settings you want for your playback. Do you want your learners to be able to rewind? I say yes, but that's totally up to you. When I watch videos, sometimes I drift, my mind drifts away, and then I'll be like, oh wait, what did they just say? Let me rewind it and go hear the answer again. So you need to make those decisions. Again, you need to go through and choose which interactions or playback options you want that fits your video with your class and your needs. I would probably not allow viewers to fast forward. That means they're probably skipping something. So choose what you want to do. And finally, the privacy issue, the privacy of this piece, you can make your bulbs public. That means they go on to the public page and everybody gets to see it. Or you can make them private. However, it is private to just you. You can make your bulbs where it's only private for you and the school district as well. So keep that in mind as well. Save changes. Save. I'm going to save and exit for now. And then I'm going to head over to my bulbs. And so here's where this bulb, I literally just made this bulb right here. It's called testing. Here are my tags. It's the science class. It's great for 3rd through 5th and so on. Here's where it tells you when it was last modified. It tells you how many views it has had. But what I really want to show you is this now, the 3 dots. So before, when we were in the pre-made bulbs that other people have made, I only had 3 options. Now that these are my bulbs, I have more options. So I'm going to go through these with you. So the first one is edit. Of course, this means you can go back in if you click on that and go back and edit your bulb, add questions, take out questions, whatever it is. Settings. These are, again, your settings for this bulb alone. Your privacy settings, your tags, anything and everything. That's what this is. Then you have the preview. You can click on that and watch it and see what happens. So if I click on that, this is what happens. The video is I'm gonna hit play. And that's what happens. Do you see how my video stopped at 3 seconds, it looks like here, and it says, how are you? So all I have to do is do that, hit submit, and then continue. And so that's what it will look like on a student perspective. So that's what preview means. Next one is assign. So if you want to assign this to your students, you're going to click on assign. Now, this is where Edpuzzle and PlayPosit differ. Edpuzzle melts just greatly with Google Classroom, whereas PlayPosit doesn't. Just because you sync your Google Classroom does not mean that you can assign through Google Classroom. You can and you can't. So let me show you how that works. So if I want to assign this to my students in Google Classroom, I want to assign this video right here called testing. I'm going to click on assign. When I click on assign, it's going to come up and it's going to ask me, okay, what class do you want to assign this to? I'm going to assign this to my 1920 class. I'm going to click on unassigned, select date. I want this due by Friday. So by Friday, they have to watch this. I can change the time. And now I'm going to click OK. When I click OK, I can go through and assign it to more classes if I wanted to. But what I want to show you right here is once you assign it, you're going to see this where it says get assign link. This link is just for this Google Classroom, not for anybody else. So if I click on that link, this is assigning. This is the link that I would use to assign it to learners. If I want to assign this as a to my, let's say Mark and I are both 5th grade teachers, and I want to put him as a co-owner to this video, to this bulb, so he too can push this out to students, his students, I can click over here where it says add owner, and I can add Mark to this as well, so that we both can go in and do that together. So that you have different options. You do have a preview link, but really if you're assigning it to kids, you want to click on assign to learners. Then you're going to copy your URL, your code. So once you do that, I'm going to hit close, and there's my testing video. So again, I went to assign, I assigned it, I went to get assign link, and I copied the link. Now to put this into Google Classroom, I literally have to go into Google Classroom. And this is again where it kind of is a little cumbersome. It's not hard, but you're just going in and making an assignment in Google Classroom like you normally do. So I'm going to click on classes. I am going to click on 1920, and I'm going to go in and assign it as classwork. And I'm going to watch this. I'm going to add it as a link. I'm going to copy or paste my link, Control P, add my link, and automatically adds it here for my students. From here, I can pick and choose which periods or which classes also get this video, so you can make one video and push it out to more than one classroom or class, or you can just push it out to a few students at a time, your choice. I'm just going to go ahead and quickly assign this right now, and it has a sign. It's called Watch This. And as my student, if I was my student, I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page. Here it is. It's called Watch This, and I can click on it. Here's my PlayPosit. Now, the first time your students go into PlayPosit, because it will be their first time that they go into PlayPosit, you're going to have to sync their account. The little window will pop up and says, which Google account do you want to use PlayPosit with? Like always, you're always going to pick the EESD account. So as a student, I'm going to go in and then click on that. And then my video is going to start right here. And I can go in and as a student start watching my video and go from there. And then again, as my student, I can go in and see what the, watch my video. So this is all student perspective. So that is all student perspective. With that, I want to also show you a couple more things within PlayPosit. So I'm still over actions. I went over preview. I went over assign. You can use share. Share and assign are kind of the same thing. When I click on share, that's the same window pops up, but it takes me to the preview link. It's the same thing. But going back to whoever had a question about how to do this in the classroom and put it up on the board for your students to see, that is something called broadcast. And this works great in the classroom. And I would obviously only use the broadcast mode when I'm in the classroom. So basically what broadcast does is it allows you to put the video on your inner right board so everybody can watch the video at one time. But when the questions pop up, it goes straight to the student's computer device. So in the classroom, you go to a class of 30 kids, you're all watching the video at the exact same time. 3 or 4 seconds into the video, the question, how are you, pops up, and every student in the classroom, their Chromebook will pop up and it will say, how are you? And they can go in and they can actually type in their answer and go from there. So the kids can answer from their own devices, even though we're all watching the movie at the exact same time. So that's what broadcast does. Then there's monitor. And this is really cool. When I click on monitor, it's going to ask me, okay, what class do you want to monitor? And again, this is monitoring for this bulb alone. It only is going to monitor this bulb. If I had assigned this bulb to more than one class, it would show me, but because I only assigned it to one class, it's going to click, I'm going to click on it here where it says monitor. And so when I go here, it will tell me where my students are when it comes to the video. It tells me that Asia has not started the video yet, but Chromebook has started the video and they are in progress. So, and I can actually go over here, take a look at their responses and so on. So that's what Monitor is. It allows you to see where your kids are. You can export the data and get it all out. Lots of just fun little things with the monitoring that allows you to see where your kids are at. And the last few things, you do have export analytics for this bulb. How well did your kids do? Did your kids get 80%? If you did put in questions, the system, again, depending on the type of question, can grade it for you. Obviously, it won't necessarily grade short responses, but multiple choice and things like that, it can grade for you. So you can export all of those analytics. If the bulb has a worksheet, you can get that. You can copy the bulb, and then of course you can delete it. So there's just a lot, honestly, that you can do with PlayPosit. You can create folders. You can put, if you're teaching a unit on Johnny Appleseed, you can have all of your PlayPosit videos together in one folder. So you can create those as well. And that's pretty much PlayPosit.
Several questions waiting for you, Kristen.
Go for it.
Okay, first one. Can people change your master bulbs that you create if you make them public?
No. You can only go in, because if you remember, if I go into pre-made bulbs and I go look at Jen March, Stacy Richter and Jen March, I believe it was Stacy Richter, are honestly two of my most power users within the district. If they have a bulb, so I'm looking at Jen March's, she made this polygon. Because this is Jen's, I don't have editing abilities. I only have preview abilities. I don't have editing abilities. I only get editing abilities if the bulb is mine.
Okay, next one.
Yep.
If we choose private, does the video still go to the EESD tab?
I don't think so. I think in my last session I said that it did, but afterwards I researched it. Yeah, so no, I was wrong the last time, I'm right this time. So if you make a bulb and you click on private, that means it's only yours. Nobody else can see it. But you can allow your district or school site to see your other bulbs by these two.
Okay, next one.
Go.
What setting do the student computers need to be on for broadcast? Do they need to be in Google Classroom?
No, they just have to be able to click on the link, whatever you sent to them for broadcast mode. And to be honest, really honest on this one, Michelle may be the better person to ask on broadcast. Miller, if you have questions on broadcasting in the classroom, unless Jenny or Mark, you guys know, but I do know that Michelle was broadcasting more often than I was.
All right, next one. If I'm in a Google Hangout or a Zoom chat, can I broadcast a PlayPosit to my students?
Try it. I've never tried it. That's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. Honestly, I have no idea. I've never tried it. Please try it and let us know, because again, because of all of this distant learning programs and apps and websites, things that we have used, we're using them in new ways that we never have before. So we're trying and experimenting. So try it. Let me know. I would definitely be interested. I would assume so, but I have no idea. That's a great question.
And then Sarah had a question that applied to her class, that she had given out codes and she was trying to resync Google Classroom. So Sarah, are you available just to hang out a smidge longer to get Kristen's brain on that one?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. Thanks.
Sarah, did you send in an email today about issues with Google Classroom?
No, that was with some of my personal Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay. Because I knew I saw your name on an email today, so that's why I was just thinking. Awesome. Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I am going to stop